Back in 2009, Epiphone introduced three limited edition guitars: the 1960 Tribute, the 2010 Tribute, and the Les Paul Standard 1959. Usually I wouldn't be interested in 2009 Epiphone Les Paul Standard, but this one is pretty unique and limited edition. It's a 50-year anniversary model. And not only that it's featured in a guitar magazine, but it comes in a hardshell case with a certificate of authenticity. And to see a Les Paul Standard Epiphone with a hardshell case and a certificate these days is pretty rare, unless it is a signature model for Slash or Bonamassa or whoever, and even they don't have the certificates anymore. The fact that it's a limited run in the gorgeous faded iced tea finish got my attention, and as soon as I picked this guitar up, even with the old strings, even not cleaned, not properly set up, it felt amazingly comfortable to me immediately, which is something that I cannot say for every Les Paul Standard. Usually they have the chunky necks, I don't like the pickups, but in this, the Burstbuckers play and sound amazing, but I'm a bit confused. This guitar is supposed to come with the Burstbuckers, but I've seen some examples with the Epiphone Buckers, and the fact that this has the pickups from 2018 doesn't help its case. There's another confusion surrounding it too. A lot of people believe that these are made in Japan, but indeed the F-serial number F3 stands for Qingdao, China. Yes, like a lot of models after 2003, this one was made in the Chinese factory. But I can tell that extra attention was given to it. Feels much more premium than most Epiphones. I was also surprised that the neck wasn't as chunky as I expected. It was comfortable for me to play. After the R757 reissue custom shop that I recently reviewed, this one almost feels thin. So this is a well-built Epiphone in the Chinese factory that comes with a hardshell case and a certificate. The only thing that it needs is the Kalamazoo headstock. Epiphone should reissue a limited run of these again as a part of the Inspired by Gibson collection with the new headstock and electronics. Here's a better look at that magazine. I think it was issued somewhere around March 2010, even though the model is released in 2009, a little bit earlier. After all, it's a 50th anniversary from 1959. Still, it was cool to include this magazine, so here it is for you. Here's another cool thing. With the help of a time machine or maybe Internet Archive, I managed to dig up Epiphone and Gibson website for 2009. On the homepage we find the 1959 Epiphone Les Paul commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Holy Grail and paying homage to the man who started it, Les Paul. Here's the 59 Epiphone limited edition in faded iced tea. I couldn't find the official Epiphone listing, but for example in 2009 if you wanted the 59 50th anniversary custom shop Les Paul Standard, that will set you back $8,500. However, I managed to dig up some information from the Guitar Compare website, and here it is, the Epiphone Les Paul Standard 1959 50th anniversary, and I think the description was copied from the official Epiphone website. The full version of the specs you can check out in the magazine that I've just showed you. Here is a short version that you can pause and read, and then I'm gonna demonstrate the specs to you. Before I start, I wanna clean and condition this Epiphone. I'm gonna clean the fingerboard, oil it, polish the frets, I'm gonna polish the covers for the pickups, and I will try to shine the hardware as well. Maybe I'm not gonna shine the bridge and tailpiece too much, I like them like that. I love the fret polish Frying by Music Nomad. Check out here the frets that I've already applied it with ease and the others that I haven't yet done. It cleans them with minimum effort. In fact, let me demonstrate it for you. Not pressing too much at all, with the greatest of ease. One more time. That's satisfying. There we go, nice and clean. The fingerboard is oiled, the frets are polished, I shined the pickup covers, they're like mirrors now. The bridge and tailpiece look good as well, and I've polished the top. Nice and shiny for the review. The specs: the body is made out of mahogany multiple pieces, I think it has mahogany veneer on the back, maple top with a flame maple veneer. It also has a mahogany neck with a set neck construction and long neck tenon, rosewood fingerboard, 22 frets, 24.75 inch scale and 12 inch radius. The old style of the Epiphone headstock with the black veneer, gold Les Paul model silkscreen, the Epiphone logo, deluxe Epiphone tuners. I'm not entirely sure what the nut is made out of, probably some sort of composite. Then we have Burstbucker 2 and 3 Gibson USA pickups, Epiphone lock tone bridge and a tailpiece. The fact that this has a long neck tenon under the neck pickup is pretty cool. Here you can see the maple top connecting to the mahogany body as well. I'm guessing 3 pieces mahogany body, 2 pieces plain maple top, 2 pieces veneer on top of that. Here's a better look at that bridge pickup cavity and the routing for the 3-way switch cable and the pickup cables as well. Here's something weird, the Burstbucker 2 and 3 date to 2018, meaning the pickups had been replaced for some reason. My guess is that one of the owners wanted to replace the pickups, probably replaced them and sold the original ones. Later on somebody got it and wanted to bring it back to original specs and got these 2018 Burstbuckers. They are the Burstbucker 2 and 3, they are just not made in 2009 but in 2018. The pickup rings follow the curve of the top, they are slanted and cream, short screws for the front, long for the back, and remember, don't over tighten these screws or you will crack your pickup rings like that. Just tighten them to the point that they catch and leave it like that. The controls are traditional for a Les Paul: bridge volume, bridge tone, neck tone. These beautiful amber top hats which fit perfect with the faded iced tea finish of the guitar. Under the top hats we find metal dial pointers. Then there's a pickup selector, a 3-way switch, I think it's Switchcraft, it's the long one, a cream poker chip and an amber tip for the 3-way switch. The Burstbucker 3 in the bridge measures at 8.46 k ohms. The Burstbucker 2 in the neck is at 804. Middle position. The middle position is weird. I think there's some problem with the 3-way switch. These are the readings of the Burstbucker 3, so probably the switch is not changing the position and catching on the bridge. And sure enough, the Switchcraft has been bent and it's pressing against the wall here of the body. That's why it's having a hard time switching between the bridge pickup and the middle position. Probably needs to be replaced or fixed. The bridge and tailpiece, even back in 2009, were the Epiphone lock tone. I've demonstrated these for you God knows how many times. Spring holding individual saddles, they lock to the struts which are thumb wheel and flathead screwdriver adjustable, metric. Not very accurate for 59 specs, but this is Epiphone after all, so the tailpiece as well is lock tone. This finish is called faded iced tea. You can see that the burst is fading towards the edges of the guitar. I like the maple veneer on this top, almost look like it's book matched. 2 pieces, it's matched pretty well, I like it. Anyway, the finish is polyurethane and we have cream binding single ply around it, cream poker chip, and if I rotate the guitar like that I can demonstrate the plain maple top that connects to the mahogany body. The idea of the binding is to hide that seam line between the maple top and the mahogany back. I noticed a bit of a flaw here with the curve of the binding and the top. You see it's curved and all of a sudden gets a sharp edge like this. It's barely noticeable when you don't know it's there, but still a flaw. A multiple piece mahogany neck with cream binding, black side dots and set neck construction. A beautiful rosewood fingerboard on top of the neck with 22 frets. Of course, this being a standard has a pearloid trapezoid inlays. I'm checking for consistency. Well, they're pretty nicely done, except I'm seeing some edges here. The inlays on the 9th and 12th fret have a gap. I don't think these shrunk, they were probably installed from the factory like that. The nut is made of some sort of composite material like the new bone that Graphtec does, but I think it's not that. It's okay, it's flush with the binding and the headstock, which has black veneer on top of it. The old style of headstock that was replaced with the Kalamazoo in 2020 Les Paul model gold silk screen, the Epiphone Pearl logo. I'm not sure if this is actually pearl or pearloid, the plastic stuff, but it looks great, and these are the vintage deluxe tuners. 2-way adjustable truss rod 4mm nut, and this is the cover for it, Les Paul Standard 1959, 3 screws, 2 ply. The nut is 43mm wide or 1.69 inch. The 12th fret is at 52.8 or 2.07 inches. Thickness at the 1st fret 21.1mm or 0.83 inch. Thickness at the 12th fret 24mm or 0.94 inch. But for some reason it doesn't feel as chunky as on most standards. Thickness of the body almost full thickness 49mm or 1.92 inch. The distance between the pickup rings 57.5 or 2.26 inches. The bridge pickup and the bridge 0.65 inch. Fingerboard radius 305mm or 12 inches as expected. Here's the neck profile, 1959 C shape, and that's probably the reason why it feels comfortable. It's nicely rounded off, doesn't feel as chunky and uncomfortable as on most Les Paul standards that I've tried, at least the Gibsons. This feels nice. Here's something interesting that I didn't know about some of the Epiphones. The magazine claims that this one has a rear veneer that gives the Les Paul 59 mahogany body a single piece look, but I'm seeing a seam line here, so this might be a veneer, but probably two pieces. I'm not sure what's going on here. Anyway, I think this has a 3 or more piece mahogany back, and Epiphone used a veneer like this, almost book matched it to look like a one piece back. Anyway, moving to the 3-way switch cavity, the switchcraft here is bent, as I mentioned, has a problem, doesn't switch properly, so it needs to be repaired. This is the cavity for the electronics. I'm assuming these are the CTA's 500K pots, and according to the specs, these are the Maori 150 capacitors. Here's a better look at that mahogany body, the maple top, the routing for the cables, the ground wire going to the bridge, and the capacitors. And here's the routing for the output jack. And here's a closer look of the capacitors. The output jack nut was a bit loose, so I tightened it using the Music Nomad Octopus tool. Here's the proper way to do it. Remove the cover for the electronics, hold the output jack from the back, then tighten from the front. A lot of people don't do that and they break their cables when rotating the output jack in the cavity. A cream plastic square plate for the output jack, which is nickel. And then we have original straw button nickel here and one over here. Plastic covers for the electronic compartment, satin in the front, gloss in the back, no shielding, same goes for the 3-way switch cover. Here's where the binding of the body meets the binding of the neck. The mahogany neck is made out of a couple of pieces. The big piece here in the center, the neck heel is glued separately on top of that big piece. If you look closely, you can see the line separating the two. And here there's a scarf joint. You can barely see it, good job by Epiphone, but you can see the difference in the grain. The headstock is glued to the neck. Near the scarf joint we have limited edition Epiphone Custom Shop logo, the Epiphone Vintage Deluxe tuners, and the serial number F303. F3 is the code for Qingdao China. I am setting this standard with my favorite strings, the 946 Elixir Nanowebs. Here's the magazine that I showed you previously. I've scanned it and include some photos. It's a time machine. There's some more cool stuff in here, like for example, oh no, a black Les Paul custom with cream plastics, weird. And look at that, the memory boy delay by Electro Harmonics. I'm actually using it to demonstrate this guitar in the lead channel. Check out the free ads section, so many Marshall heads for sale. Oh, look at that, the crossword for March 2010. I'm not gonna attempt and answer these, you can pause and try it if you like. Here's the certificate of authenticity. I think this one was laminated by the previous owner later on, which is a good idea actually. And here's something cool, in the bottom right corner we have 1108 1959. At first I thought this was a date, but no, 1959 of these limited run guitars were made, and the number of this one is 1108. It's a bit of a shame that the new slash signatures and the ghost horse don't include a cool certificate like that. Here's another cool fact, the case is probably trying to replicate the original cases from the 50s. In 2009, the custom shop of Gibson was not yet using the brown cases, they were using the black ones. This is the brown one for my 2019, they used it from 2010 to 2019. So the Epiphone case, the brown one, was predating the custom shop brown case. 4 golden latches, dark brown handle, Epiphone logo here on the top, and in it, this vivid pink lining. Oh my god, my eyes are burning. Look at the custom shop, it's purple, this one is light pink. In the case we have the original owner's manual. Pretty useful stuff actually. If you haven't read it, make sure you go through these before you do any adjustments on your guitar. Here is the key for the case, and I'm gonna show you guys the compartment for accessories. A bit hard to open. I don't see a sticker indicating where this one was made, but I'm guessing China. Surprisingly, this 50th anniversary doesn't weigh that much at 8.39 pounds. Now let's hear it. I'm glad I had the chance to document this 50th anniversary 1959 Les Paul Standard. It's pretty cool with the certificate of authenticity, with the case and everything. I love the faded iced tea finish. The fact that only 1959 of these were ever made makes it even cooler. This particular example was well preserved with the certificate, with the case and everything. Fortunately for the owner, who is also my friend, he got a great deal on one of these. He paid around $670, $80, $700, which was the original listing price back in 2009. And keep in mind, he paid that for a guitar that's in excellent condition, that's an anniversary model that comes with a hardshell case and a certificate of authenticity. If you want to buy something like this now, like for example the slash signature that you're seeing in front of you, the Anaconda Burst that I've reviewed, you have to pay a little bit more for the hardshell case alone. So if you happen to come across one of these, the 2009 50th anniversary model, don't hesitate to buy one if it's reasonably priced in the range between $600 and $800. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Catch you later.